Welcome to another episode of the Shop Walk here at Iconic Motorbikes. Today is Thursday, October 24th, and I'm starting here with the professor in his bay. Steve is working on a bike that normally wouldn't get me super excited, I gotta be honest. It's a Honda GL, I think it's a 12, yeah,
1100.
No, 12, 12.
Okay.
Yeah, GL 1200 here, Goldwing. There's a couple of cool things about it. One of our fancy clients owns it, a gentleman named Ewan McGregor, otherwise known as Obi-Wan Kenobi, or a billion other roles that he's been in. He was working on a TV show in Atlanta when he picked this up. He bought this from a client, or not a client, but a friend of ours, John Landstrom over at Blue Moon Cycle, really good dude, has some cool bikes over there. So he was riding this around a bit. Then he had it shipped to us, and after it got shipped, Ewan realized that, oh, the side stand's all screwed up. And the reason for that, you have to come down low here.
That extra frame rail is right down there too.
Yeah, oh, where?
Right underneath the other lip.
Ooh, good, okay. All right, we're gonna show this in a second. Thank you, Steve. So this rail here is removable, as you can see. Many bolts, many nuts. This is removable because this is what you have to pull if you want to take the motor out for, you know, if things get drastic, if you got to do serious work to the motor. But because of the way it's built and the way it's set up, rain, so basically water, usually rain or whatever, will come in here through the leading edge and then sit down there and rust. And then, can you hear this? I mean, you could see it falling on my falling on my jeans here. Yeah. So unfortunately, it sits, it rusts, and then the side stand mount gets weakened and that kind of thing. So we were able to track down a replacement part for that for Ewan's bike and install that. In addition, here's a fun little thing. Even a little trinket. Your average bike, well, modern bike is going to run 12 volt system. So at any point, it's hopefully running between, per this instruction sheet, between 11 and 15 volts. This is the original part. If you can see that, it says 7. 7 volts.
They were nice enough to make 2 gauges on the entire bike.
Wait, hold on, people can't hear you. Say it again?
They were kind enough to have 2 gauges, these two, the fuel gauge and the temp gauge, both run on 7.2 volts.
Yeah, I don't know why.
The little regulator down here I had to replace because the voltage was getting too high and it was topping out both the gauges.
There you go. So during a test ride, like, you know, Steve did the work, everything was great, but when they did a test ride, the fuel gauge was full, which, okay, fine, but the temp gauge was pegged pretty early. And we're like, oh God, is it overheating? You know, we stopped the test ride early. But yeah, it turns out it was just this little part here had failed. But yeah, 7 volts, kind of oddball. We were able to find a replacement, so now I think everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I already checked it.
Oh, good man. So yeah, so we got one of these replacements from the Holtzco group. And yeah, the regulator reduces from 11 to 15 volts down to stable 7. You know, Honda does so many things really, really well, and then they do stupid
That was thoroughly a surprise.
bleep like this. I mean, yeah, yesterday we did a shop walk with Steve, and he was talking about how Kawasaki, oh no, it was this morning. It was this morning we were talking about the Kawasaki Z1000, the Z1R, and the really idiotic placement they had for the BrakeMaster cylinder and all that kind of. You know what?
You know, it was the 80s.
It was the 80s. Everyone was on cocaine. It's all crazy. But there you go. So thankfully the Goldwing will be pretty ready to go soon, and that'll go off to its owner. You know what? I'm going to skip Ollie for a second. We're going to jump over here to Yanni. Today is Thursday. I think you guys know, if you follow us regularly, that our technicians that work here for over a year, we give them the option of going to a 410 schedule. And so on Thursdays, Angel is out. So I'm not really going to talk about what's in his bay because it's pretty much the same stuff as yesterday. Yanni's working on this, a BMW F800 ST. We have mentioned this in a shop walk before. Notable for a couple of things. I mean, it was like a mid-range sport touring bike. Most people were going to buy GSs. I think when this bike was out, was it 2007, so if my memory doesn't fail me, that's like an R1200. Yeah, it's probably an R1200 GS at that point. And so most people are buying that, but the 800 came with a couple of interesting things. So it's a parallel twin motor. It had belt drive, which is not as maintenance free as a shaft drive, but all, you know, very cost efficient. And then it still had all the great things you'd expect from a touring bike or that you'd want from a BMW touring bike. So heated grips, ABS, just that kind of stuff. These saddlebags actually expand outwards. These have seen better days. I have the same, BMW uses these same bags on even some of the performance bikes, like the K1200R that I own. And mine doesn't look as bad, but it's definitely seen some wear like that. But it just means whoever was riding it, enjoying it. I think this one has 30-something thousand miles. My K1200R has like 80 or 90,000. And it needs a clutch, so we're gonna probably show that off in a future shop walk coming up soon. All right, you know what? We're gonna do one of those last but not least, but I would say last but best. We got the champion here, Ollie. We're still we have people still like throwing out different options for your nickname. Now that you're an ARMA racing legend, that kind of thing. Legend.
Legend means he's gonna be old.
Well, you're old. I mean, but okay, so real cool. I'm gonna ask that we share this in the video. Not only did he obviously, we've talked about it multiple times that he's won and did really well at Barber, but like Road Racing World did multiple articles about him, and so we're gonna show you some screenshots or do some link. Well, I mean, you're a modest, okay, touche, fine. He got mentioned a few times in Road Racing World. Sue me. Whatever, it's cool. We're happy. He loves Road Racing World, so it's cool to see it. He's a modest man. That's why, it's one of the reasons why we like him. He's also a sassy. Ever since he won, he's been giving a little extra crap to everyone. We see it, we hear it. That's kind of an inside joke, I apologize. But anyway, okay, we're actually here to talk about bikes. Motorcycles, right? Bimota SB8RS. So this is, Bimota made an SB8R version. They made the SB8RS, the extra S, I believe stands for special. And one of the special things about it, if you look here, sir, it's funny because they never actually put the S on the end, but carbon fiber bodywork in terms of the tail, the fairings, that kind of thing. The tank is not, and the belly pan, as you can see there, is not, but lots of carbon fiber on it. They had optional gold rear sets. Some people love them, some hate them. I can see both sides of that argument, but it's a TL1000R motor. My partner Adam, that's one of, if not his favorite bike in life, so he's obsessed with these things.
Just Adam.
Just Adam?
No, not just
I know, not just, Steve loves him too.
Yeah.
Steve loves him too. Well, you guys are crazy. You grew up in an era, I don't like, the bikes like this, you got to split your legs like you're a lady at the gynecologist's office on the wide tanks, your 900RRs.
Just for when you're cornering, you gotta do that anyway.
Practice for when you're cornering?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, this is, everyone's got different opinions, right? And that's the beauty of motorcycling. You're gonna find bikes that you're like, I like really narrow stuff. It's why I like V-twins. This is also a V-twin, so to be fair, it's not like the 900RR I was mentioning earlier, or say like an RC45 or something like that. But that is why I love motorcycles and I love motorcyclists, because we all have different opinions on stuff. What everyone will agree on though is how cool this bike is. So like I said, TL1000R motor, but then Bimota went on a mission to save weight, add a little bit of power. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This doesn't have the shower injectors, does it? That's only the SB8K. The SB8K has the shower injectors, not this one. But you can see here, Arrow exhaust there from the factory. You can see, look at if you come to this, or I don't know if you can reach, but check out where the shock is mounted on this bike. And then of course the remote adjustment there. Just such a cool bike. This one only has about 1,000 miles. I was talking about carbon fiber earlier, so carbon fiber there, carbon fiber here. It's just such a cool, for a lot of people, this is actually one of the best selling, I think the SB8R and the SB6R were Bimota's best selling bikes of all time for a good reason. The SB6 had a Gixxer 1100 motor in it, and then this, of course, as I've said 4,000 times now, has the TL motor in it. But yeah, carbon fiber up here. This one has just about 1,000 miles. Adam's actually thinking about maybe just buying this one himself before it goes up for auction. We'll see how that goes. He may buy it, he may not buy it. If he doesn't buy it, you'll see it up on the auction site. But either way, very, very cool bike. And I look forward to showing you guys a test ride video when Ollie's all said and done with it. So thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Riff, always behind the camera. Appreciate your work. And I guess that wraps up today's shop walk. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. Always love hearing from you guys, questions, concerns. If I did something great, definitely, you know, I did it. If I did something wrong, it's Ollie's fault.
Oh.
You know how it is.
Nice.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.